Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this almost afternoon at this point. Thank you for joining us. This session is about from premium brand to premium delivery, how EssilorLuxottica is elevating brand experience through next generation delivery. My name is Itamar Zur. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Veho. I'll tell you about Veho here in a minute. And I have a very special guest with me here today. His name is Massimo Sapone, and he's the Senior Vice President and GM Logistics and Distribution Planning for North America for EssilorLuxottica. And before I let Massimo introduce himself, I just want to say, you know, from a consumer standpoint, I think about Luxottica as one of the most amazing companies out there. Those of you who don't know, some of the most incredible eyewear brands like Oakley, like Ray-Ban, and more recently in the partnership with Meta, where it's an AI glasses. Many of the stores you may be shopping for eyewear. EssilorLuxottica is the company behind that, and they're so innovative in their approach and customer experience. I'm really excited to have you on stage with me today, Massimo. Thanks for coming here.
Thank you, Ita. And it's a very pleasure to be here with you and with this fantastic audience here in Las Vegas. So yes, EssilorLuxottica is the largest company in the world that produce, manufacture and distribute eyewear across the world. But the eyewear is only one of our main pillars. We are also developing two other mainstream pillars. That is, one is the medtech, so-called medtech. So all the innovation that will come and is coming now connected to the medical technologies, leveraging on AI. And at the same time, we are approaching, thanks with the partnership with Meta, to the technology development applied to the eye industry. So yes, we are a huge company. We are the largest in the market, almost $29.5 billion revenue in 2024, more than 200,000 employees. We produce nearly 1 million pair of lenses in our 600 industrial labs across the world. We handle almost 150 different brands that part we own, part we have licensed, and we own almost 18,000 retail stores across the world with different brands and different, with different brands. For example, LensCrafter here in US, Sunglassat, Target Vision, Target Optical, Ray-Ban and Oakley, and other brands under our umbrella.
1, 2, 3, checking works, great. And I'll tell you a little bit about Veho. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Veho. We can go to the next slide. Veho is an end-to-end delivery platform that works with e-commerce companies to deliver their packages to consumer homes with the highest on-time delivery rate in the country, customer satisfaction. And one of the things that we do is we measure the impact of the delivery on the bottom line of the brands that we work with. Be it by saving them money on shipping fees, on customer service calls, lost packages, etc., but also help them increase their customer conversion, customer lifetime value. So maybe we'll talk a little more about Veho later on in the conversation today. But I want to get started. And Massimo, Luxottica has so many amazing brands and different brands. Is there a common thread with respect to how you view your customer experience across all those brands? And what does that mean to you as a logistics executive?
Great question. So regarding our, let me say, customer expectation, we have our CEO that launched last year one important motto for our company, that is the customer obsession. So it's something that everyone continue to let me say, tell to the customer. Customer obsession for us represent to put the customer at the center of our attention. Not only with the, let me say, the word, but in reality. Why? Because we always start from the customer request and then we work on what is the best way to serve the customer, and in parallel also to have the best way to serve the customer. Not only in terms of cost, but also in terms of environmental impact. So the driver for us are multiple drivers. First of all, the customer expectation, that is driven by the service So that we can offer to that customer to meet the customer expectation. And then the way how we arrive to this customer expectation is choose the best cost and the less impact on environment. So these are the driver and the way how we are working to serve our customer. For sure, cost is an important driver, okay? But I will not be here next year if I go to my CEO or COO and say, look, I saved $1 per delivery and we are going not to meet the customer expectation. I will not be here. The stretch that we have is always to meet the customer expectation at the best cost with less impact on the environment.
You know, you and I met the first time, I think it was August last year, right? Massimo and his team came to Atlanta to one of our facilities. We drove around, we spent the day together. One of the things you told me is that Veho is really the first next generation delivery platform that you decided to partner with. So I'm curious, why did you make this move? How did you get comfortable with it? You know, what did you, learn along the way? What's been the experience so far?
Look, I can tell you that I'm tired for the standard transportation company, from the big two company, big three company in US. This is not the right reason, because those companies that represent the backbone of the American distribution still remain an alternative value, a good value for us and for other companies, okay? What moved us to approach a different way of deliver the customer, of transportation, or a different way to serve the customer is because we as EssilorLuxottica are moving toward a different dimension, also in terms of products. We are not delivering anymore eyewear, but now we are approaching with the new business division technologies, with the Ray-Ban Meta. We are also developing a lot our, business unit on the medtech device. We are investing in artificial intelligence. We are buying company that help us to become the leader also in medtech. So this represent for us. So we are changing our skin. We are adapting to the market, okay? From a mainly mass product, we want to become more near to our customer, okay, approaching new markets. For this reason, once we evolve in our strategy of products, for sure we need also to evolve in the way how we serve our customer, okay? Because everything is changing quite fast. And Veho represented at that time a great alternative, because comparing other transportation company that put the infrastructure in the center and eventually artificial intelligence as support to serve the infrastructure, Veho moved from an artificial intelligence centricity to an infrastructure that serve the core of the idea, the artificial intelligence. For this reason, it was very interesting, okay, for us to approach. Is a complement of our strategy in terms of innovation. That's it. This was the reason. Then we sold inside our company the idea, because now selling the gig economy as a way to change our way of delivery need to be digested inside the company. We started quite ahead. I think that we started last July or June, the first contact, to implement and ramp up during the holiday season. So really was something that we did not only as operation, but we involved our commercial department. We bring them on the floor to test our Veho delivery, and this was a great successful story.
I think the next question is on your side.
Yes. So starting from the fact that you are approaching a gig economy. You are. How do you foresee our partnership, our relationship between vendor and customer? Because we talk always about partnership, and for us is important. But how you interpreted the concept of partnership with us?
Well, I mean, one thing I'll answer first is, and I hope you don't mind, you mentioned, that Veho uses the gig economy, and I think it's important to actually touch on why we use the gig economy, and then I'll address the question about the partnership. I get asked this all the time, right? Who are these drivers? Why they're delivering your package? Is this better than a UPS, as an example? And I think it's important to go back to the roots of Veho, which is 10 years ago, when we started the company. We said, how can we fix the customer experience? Because I was living in an apartment building where you could not get stuff delivered. You know, the UPS or the FedEx driver would leave a sticky note on the door. You've all seen them. I have a photo of like 50 of those. I swear to God. Those of you at Veho here, you've seen this photo before. 50 of those on the front door. How do you get your package? How do you communicate with the driver, right? And so the whole idea was to start from the customer. One of the things we realized is when you have a fixed fleet of drivers, you cannot scale your capacity up and down. Think about the holiday season, right? You have so many more packages. If you're a shipper, so many more packages. You cannot scale your capacity with UPS or FedEx, right? That's the first thing. Second is somebody doesn't show up, then who are they going to put instead of that driver? They don't have a pool of drivers they can just draw from. And so on and so forth. If you're a UPS or a FedEx, it's really hard to give the customer the option to choose what delivery window they want to get. When you have crowdsourced, you can have routes in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. You can track all the packages, etc. So we decided to use this model because we want to solve the customer problem, which is getting the stuff delivered on time, having the visibility, being able to provide instructions. You can even upload a photo of where you want the package to be delivered, and it shows up to the driver on time. And we can flex up and down during the holiday season, as an example. Unlike the national legacy players, we don't slow down the delivery during the holiday season. We don't say on-time delivery is a day slower than the rest of the year. We just don't do that because we have flexibility in our fleet. And technology is what powers everything here. It allows us to track everything. It allows us to have a full chain of custody. It allows us to have a carrot and stick approach with the drivers where they want to get high rating from the customers so they get more routes. They don't get a high rating, they don't get to drive more with us, etc. So technology is what really makes everything possible. Now you asked about partnership, and one of the things I appreciate about Massimo and his team is that actually that's from the first day. That's what they told us. We don't want a vendor, we want a partner in this. And so for us it means is first understand what your needs are. Like, what do you need? We're not here to serve our needs. We're here to serve your needs. Is it about customer experience? It's about reliability. It's about building trust. It's about, peak capacity. Is it about speed? And then help you design the solutions that you need that we can provide to you. And again, technology comes back, is at the core of the whole thing. If you have a rigid system that was built in the 20th century, you cannot all of a sudden have a new feature for a brand that works with you because they need something. Where are you going to build this thing? You don't even have the infrastructure. This is why being a technology player in the 21st century in delivery is so critical. And Veho takes this agile approach of really understanding what our partners need, build this with them with a white glove service, where our client success managers sit with our partners on a weekly, monthly basis, look at the data together, ask for feedback, constantly work to get better all the time. And, probably you can all feel it. I'm very passionate about this space, about not just looking at delivery as a cost driver, but also as a value driver. How do we increase customer lifetime value? How do we help increase customer conversion to the checkout page? So Massimo, as a shipper, how do you think about delivery both as a cost center and as a value driver? Like, what have you learned from this experience with Veho, maybe others, that teach you about how to think about delivery?
But what we learned from this experience was an amazing, let me say, customer point of view. No? Because usually in the past, when we used to talk with the traditional carrier, we talk about the service, the cost, the on-time performance, but we never experience the life of a truck driver, of a driver, of a deliverer, of a person that delivers, and the experience of the customer on the customer point of view. Because we went together to perform the delivery, we placed the box where the customer expects. And this kind of thing is value for us because we understand maybe better the point of view of the transportation company, in this case Veho, and the point of view of the customer when they ask something, why they ask something, why they ask the pre-alert before the delivery, why they need to place the box in a certain place, why is important the feedback that each driver receive from the previous delivery drivers to give a better experience to the customer. So everything is built on the customer experience that can improve time after time. No? Did I reply to your question?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Good.
Should we talk a little bit about peak?
Yes, the peak is something that we start to experience the peak, let me say, opportunity. I don't want to say issue, but opportunity already before COVID, because when we started with our Ray-Ban e-commerce website at the beginning in 2017, was not so strong, the e-commerce. Then we realized that the better you plan, better you execute. No? And we started to refine our strategy, how to give to our partner volume quite precise in advance, divided by week, but at the day level. No? Every day we forecast with volatility of 10% maximum the volume for the peak season already with 3 months in advance. Okay. So we planned with your team what could be for us the next holiday season. We take all the advantage of previous experience to instruct your team and Veho in general how could be for us the peak season. And when peak season it comes, we had the ramp up of the volume because we started right before the peak season, and was a seamless go live because the volume flow very well, delivery experience was fantastic. Also our NPS, the feedback received from customer was really good. So everything was prepared well, but executed even better as a partner, let's say.
Yeah, and I can say that from our standpoint, as you mentioned earlier, Massimo, peak is one of the most important times of the year, maybe the most important time of the year. And we take this time really seriously as a trusted partner. So the thing that we do, ahead of peak is we have a conversation with all our partners, and we try to really understand what their forecasts are. And we actually don't commit to more than we can take. And a lot of, for delivery businesses, if you understand our economics, you want to take as much volume as possible. It gives you more utilization. You're building more route density. You make, better cash flows on the delivery. We don't treat peak this way at all. It is really important for us to understand what our partners need and not overcommit so we don't fall behind on the on-time delivery in the most important time of the year, where 30% of consumers, I don't know if that's the numbers you have, that's the numbers that I have, 30% of consumers, or 30% of the shopping of the entire year happen between Thanksgiving and the holiday in December. And a lot of people are trying the brand for the first time. And this is so important to get the stuff delivered to them on time. So, as you can see here in the slide, we grew this peak season 146% volume-wise versus the previous year, 260% versus 2 years ago. And while we're doing that, it's so important that we make sure we don't take too much that we can. The system flexes pretty well with our model, as you can imagine, the crowdsourced drivers and the technology. But it is also really important for us to stay really close with the brands and provide what they need. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is a curiosity that I have that is coming also from your last LinkedIn post and so on. I read that you are continuing to invest and launch new AI, artificial intelligence solution to support the shipper to, let me say, be more cost effective, but at the same time, I hope that you are not, as I said before, you are not doing this in a detrimental way, against the customer experience, because sometimes, it's very easy to reduce the cost. I say, yes, you reduce the cost, but the customer will suffer a little bit. Choose. Yeah. So how you are approaching this development?
I'm glad you asked me. You said something really interesting, which is you can go and buy cheap shipping. You can do that today. There's people who are going to sell you that. How are you gonna make sure that while you're going through your cost savings, you're not compromising your customer experience? So that's a thing that we thought about a lot. And last week, as you mentioned, we announced a new feature, if you will, a new way to deliver packages, and it's called FlexSave. And so what FlexSave does, I'm not gonna go and talk too much about the detail, but just at a high level, it takes day certain delivery. Let's say you ship on Saturday, and you expect the package to arrive on Monday. Veho has the product that will tell you it will arrive on Monday. It will arrive really quickly. It's called Ground Plus. Or it can arrive a little slower. It's called Premium Economy. It's a little cheaper, but it's day precise. And what FlexSave does, it says, if you want, we will then make it instead of day certain to range certain. We'll open up the window. It will be within 3 days. Most of your customers will still get the stuff delivered on the first day. But there's a chance that they will get it delivered on the second or third day. The customer doesn't know when it's coming. They know it will arrive by the end of the range. If anything, they get surprised and delighted because most of them actually get it delivered earlier than that. But by getting that flexibility, now we're using our own AI orchestration platform. You asked about AI. So I know a lot of people talk about AI. There's a lot of things in the digital world. Veho is actually building AI for the physical world. And it's called Maestro AI. It's an orchestration platform that makes millions of decisions in real time. When you scan a package at the warehouse, it tells you how to prioritize it, where to put it on the truck, where to put it on the route. Should it be prioritized? Should it not be prioritized? And communicate with the customer about when it will arrive. So now you have more time to make those optimizations. It drives down our cost, allows us to pass on the savings, while the customer still gets to communicate with customer service, still get notifications, can still leave instructions, can still leave a photo where they want the package to be delivered, troubleshoot in real time. That's how we can pass on the savings to the brand without compromising the customer experience, which is so critical, particularly for the brand value that Luxottica and all the brands that you have. And we're getting. Sorry, you wanted to.
No.
We're getting toward the final 8 minutes here. So 2 questions to wrap up, and maybe we'll take some questions from the crowd. I would like to know, Massimo, how do you see this space evolving over the next year or two? From the first mile all the way to the last mile, you're very forward thinking in your approach, and Luxottica as well. So really curious to hear your answer.
I think that the evolution of artificial intelligence will continue to, let me say, help company as EssilorLuxottica to serve better the customer. And what I'm figuring out is a system of orchestration that can connect from the demand until the delivery, passing through the transportation, a better way to orchestrate all the flows, starting from the receiving of the good until the delivery. We are a multi-channel customer. We say we are one channel because we serve all the type of channel. Retail with our store, wholesale with brick and mortar. We have the e-commerce. We have also our internal industrial logistic that pass through the transportation. So now we are talking about usage of artificial intelligence or this, let me say, gig economy for only the e-commerce. What about the future? How we can also leverage more on the artificial intelligence to serve also the other business unit that we have or other business model. Because again, as I said before, Veho will never become, the only carrier that we have, but we need to work together to understand the needs of the customers, internal or external, that we have, to try to find a way how this business model can help us to become, again, more competitive, more attractive for the customer in terms of customer experience, and more sustainable.
And maybe you have a question for me, and then we can wrap up as well.
No. And another point that I want to underline that why we moved with Veho is the reduction of the bureaucracy that Veho has comparing other carriers, because we have finally a direct contact again with the top of the company, and the good thing is that when we need something, we don't have to go through different, level inside a company, but we can talk directly with the top management or even with the CEO to solve a problem. So this is a great opportunity, and this is the base of the partnership.
I can tell you, thank you for saying that, by the way. It is true. I mean, people don't take advantage of it, but I do connect directly with each one of our clients, and if you need anything, I'm available to you. So thanks for saying that. And that's our approach as a business. I also want to talk a little bit about how I see the future in this industry. Everybody talks about AI. AI is true, but I want to take it to a very different angle. If you're a shipper today and you need to buy shipping services from any of the common legacy carriers out there, you basically are asked to be put in a box. They will give you 3 boxes. and from an analogy standpoint, right? They have either this service or that service or that service that works for them, and you have to choose which one of them is the most convenient for you. And I think that's the past. That's not the future. In the future, shippers can design their own shipping options. Your brand is unique. In your case, you have many brands. The consumer of those brands are different people, different personas, different needs. Under each brand, there are multiple SKUs, multiple products, right? How do you design the shipping option that is the right one for your customer, for your brand, for your product? And how do you change it all the time based on your needs? So what the future holds is the checkout pages are going to change. On the checkout page today, instead of looking at the 3 options that FedEx or UPS offer you, you can design your own options. You can say, for this product, I want 2 to 5 day delivery, 95% precision the first day, the rest, come on the other days. For that one, I want next day delivery, I want 99% precision. You can design it for your own needs, also based on how you think about cost, what you want to spend on this. And companies that have the ability to orchestrate all that in the back end, Veho is at the forefront of that, as I mentioned before, with the orchestration platform Maestro AI, will be able to empower your checkout page so you can A/B test and can increase conversion in a way that maximizes lifetime value while you focusing on those options that reduce your spend. So I think that's where the option is. Instead of buying into somebody else's boxes, you create your own boxes and you ask your shipping providers to play within your sand field, if you will. And I'm really excited about this future. It's better for shippers, it's better for customers, it's better for everybody ultimately. So we got 3 minutes. Let's see if there are any questions. Any questions from the crowd? I'm assuming it will appear here on the TV. No? If not, anybody has a question, want to raise their hand, I'll get you the microphone. Yes, 1 second.
I wanted to ask a question concerning actual deliveries. Are you using your own fleet of drivers or are you outsourcing that? How does that work in order to get a choice of what day to deliver?
Thanks for the question. So Veho is a crowdsourced platform. So what that means is that the drivers that are on our platform are similar to Uber drivers. They sign up with us, they go through background checks and orientation, and then they drive in their free time. And we have built a technology infrastructure that allows us to hold them essentially accountable to a very high bar in terms of reliability. Customers who receive the package get to rate the delivery, so they get a score on that. And if something goes wrong, the customer can talk to our live customer support, by the way. They get scored on whether they show up for the route on time, whether they had any repeating issues. And so they know that the bar is high. They want to drive with us because it's a great gig for them. And if they do a really good job, they qualify to the next tier. Next tier is they get to choose their routes before everybody else does. They get paid same day. That's how it works. The model has worked incredibly well for us, as we continue to scale around the country. You saw how fast we're growing, and as Massimo, in his words, I think, we've been a great partner in terms of quality. Hopefully that answers the question. Other questions, anybody? Yes. Good exercise for me, by the way.
How much are you using automation in your distribution centers? And is that changing as you guys scale?
Thanks for asking. We have two types of automation, 2 types of distribution centers, if you will. One is the regional distribution centers. These are larger ones. Think about it as a terminal that sends trucks into last mile facilities. Those are mostly automated. And then we have the last mile facilities where last mile routes are launched from. These are typically manual nowadays as we continue to ramp and scale them across the country. Automation, interestingly enough, has not been a barrier for us to grow very fast and keep our quality intact. Basically, it's a lever to reduce our cost. So over time, we can pass on the savings. But for now, it's been working really well for us. The hubs are the ones who get massive volume and are being automated. I think we're right on time. So Massimo, thank you for coming all the way from Atlanta to spend the day with us. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for coming.
And thank you for the invite.
That's really nice.